Hello guys, and welcome to the first ever live episode of the NGB Podcast. I am Ben, I am your host, and I am joined down underneath me by Kieran. Kieran is underneath, that's probably a bit,
Hello.
That's a bit filthy. That there on the right is Matt, and down underneath Matt is Gary. How are we all doing, folks? Gary, I'll start with you. You good, mate?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, absolutely. You?
Superb. Yeah, I'm a bit nervy about this whole thing about like live podcasting. It's oddly nerve-wracking. But yeah, you know, I'm doing all right. What you've been up to? It's kind of it's been a while since we've done a podcast in general, really.
Yeah.
Life been treating you well?
Yeah, pretty much. Just doing the usual gaming here and there. Just normal life stuff.
Cool.
So yeah, everything's good. All good on that front.
Excellent. What about you, Matt? You good?
Sound. Yeah, sorry.
Cool.
Many
Content.
Words. I know.
No, that's cool. Yeah, like what you been up to? I know we'll get into what we've been playing in just a second, but have you found much time for gaming recently, or are you sort of?
No, yeah, I do. I've been quite involved in one certain game actually quite recently.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get onto that in a minute.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kieran, what about yourself?
Yeah, good tar. Yeah, not had a huge amount of time to play games, but
okay,
I played a couple.
Fair enough. Right, so what we are going to do is move into what we've been playing, because me and Gary have been playing Super Mario Odyssey quite a lot, and I'm pretty sure Gary wants to gush about this game because it's brilliant.
Not
It's
on
incredible.
my YouTube though, please. Just calm down.
Yes. It's amazing. I was sort of. I know I'm probably sort of in a minority here, but when it got announced, I didn't really sort of feel it. I didn't sort of really like the look of it as such. And I was sort of late to the party. I didn't buy it on launch day. But I sort of thought, you know what? Everyone's talking about it, how amazing it is. I'll play it, and as soon as you start playing it, Ben, you can sort of relate to this. It's incredible. The amount of charm it's got, the level design is just, well, it's Miyamoto to a T. It's incredible. I haven't felt like this much fun playing a game for a long time.
Yeah.
It's just classic Mario, 3D Mario, and it reminds me so much of like a Mario 64 successor.
Yes.
Because I don't think we've really had one since. We've had obviously Galaxy, but that was very different in terms of how it sort of played. Yeah, I just can't stop playing this game. I don't know how many hours I put into it, and I've only bought it like, I don't know, 3 days ago, maybe something like that.
Okay.
And I just keep on getting sidetracked with it. Like, instead of just carrying on with the story, I just keep like finding moons and just go and finding little areas where you can like just go through stuff and find the other bits, and it's just it's huge. And I've heard some amazing things about the end. Something happens at the end.
I keep hearing things about like, you know, oh, there's a big one of the worlds towards the end is quite impressive. So I've purposely not spoiled it because I really don't want it to be spoiled.
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly. But yeah, this game is just ridiculously good. I just can't say enough like positives about it, because it was just, I can understand totally why these were getting 10s.
Yeah.
People were giving it 10s. It's that good. And if you own a Switch, like the Switch has had an amazing year with games. You had obviously Breath of the Wild and Odyssey, and Mario vs. Rabbids as well is a good one. So yeah, this, like, if you don't own a Switch, this is definitely a system seller, I think. It's that good.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd fully agree with you on that one. I mean, myself and Gary, we're the two on this chat at the minute that have Switches. Kieran, I know you've said you want one, and Matt obviously wants one by the fact that he's now crying.
Buy me one! If you would like to send donations to myself so I can buy a Switch, please feel free. I will give you the address by the end of the show.
But yeah, I honestly think like, you know, Mario Odyssey is genuinely. I wasn't as taken by it immediately as you, Gary. I think it took me a little bit of time. Like, playing it at first, I was just sort of like, oh, it's, you know, it's another 3D Mario game. You know, there wasn't a huge amount that sort of grabbed me. But I think the more I'm playing it, the more I'm having that really nice sort of, oh, hang on, this is actually quite special. And yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying my time with it now. It's really good. Yeah, it's going to be a very difficult conversation when it comes to Game of the Year.
One question actually for you as you've been playing it. How do you play it? Do you play it handheld? Do you play it with the grip, or do you play it with the Joy-Con in each hand? I
was actually going to talk to you about this as well, because I've played quite a lot of it so far in handheld mode.
Okay, yeah.
And I've got a Pro Controller, so I tend to play it's kind of the vast majority when I'm at home is with the Pro Controller. But it is an absolute joy to play in handheld mode. It really is.
I've played
with one exception, as I say, with one exception, and that one exception is when you need to like send the hat round in a circle.
Just about to say that.
You have to physically move the actual whole unit, and it's like, well, really?
Yeah, I don't think they made it like that for handheld mode. I think they was trying to sort of have it so people wouldn't use it like that. But I've started off in handheld mode, and it looks amazing. The only downside with handheld mode I find is you get a bit of the jaggies going on, more so than you do on the big screen.
Yeah.
And then I went to the grip. I found that good. And then obviously the Joy-Con in each hand as well, I found fine. So yeah, I think all three versions of it, I haven't got a Pro Controller, but all the three versions I've tried, I think work really well. But yeah, the only downside with the handheld, I think, is the fact that you're sort of cut off a bit with the motion stuff. So
yeah, no, again, I think you're totally right in that one. And I think ultimately, like I say, it's going to be a very difficult conversation when it comes to Game of the Year this year. For another reason, because of one of the things that I've also been playing, which is, what a segue that is, Horizon Zero Dawn. I've been playing the Frozen Wilds, which is I don't know if it's the first or if it's the only sort of confirmed DLC that they've announced, but either way, it's the DLC, the story DLC for Horizon Zero Dawn. It's fantastic. It's made me realise just how much I absolutely love the base game. It's got a lot to like about it. Like Aloy is, I said this in my review that I don't know if it was just me, but it certainly felt a little bit like in the early goings of Horizon. Have we all played it, by the way, here?
Yes.
No.
Okay, fair enough. 3 out of 4 ain't bad. Yeah, I think the thing is with Horizon, in the early going, Aloy certainly felt a little bit underdeveloped.
Yeah.
But by the end of the game, like, she did feel like a full-fledged character. But the development in the Frozen Wilds, by the end of it, she's one of the best characters that there has been in PlayStation gaming, I think. It develops her in such a way that she's really understated, but at the same time, she's doing a lot. And the main sort of theme of the Frozen Wilds is one of my most sort of revered things about the main game is that it's all kind of based around religion and how there's this big technical demon, this technical world, if you like, that was there previously, that all of a sudden, that disappeared, and over the course of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, people are finding these relics of the past, and they're assigning like spiritual meanings to things when they don't. To us, it's futuristic tech, so we can see, oh, that's an AI, that's a robot, that's a massively advanced piece of machinery. But to the people that are there, like, they've just discovered it, they are like primal tribes, and they just go, oh, what's this? And they see it, and they immediately attribute, they assign spiritual meaning to it.
Okay.
And
that's really cool, actually.
Yeah, it's a really cool. It's a really cool thing that they did in the main game a little bit, but they really explore it in the Frozen Wilds, and yeah, it's a really, really good piece of DLC. I mean, it looks fantastic. It really does.
Yeah.
The base game for Horizon looked incredible, and they've put a lot more effects into it. Like, they've got snow effects, so as Aloy's running through the snow, you get you kind of trudge through it with as Aloy runs, like her running animation changes. So the animation will change depending on how deep the snow is. And it's little subtle touches like that which just made me realise, I really love this game. There's some new weapons, there's some new enemies, there's some new areas. It's all, there's a lot of new stuff in there. And ultimately, I think it's made me appreciate the main game a lot more than I originally did, I think. So I know, Gary, you had you really, really enjoyed it. I mean, obviously you've got an Aloy t-shirt on at the minute.
Yeah.
There we go. Represent. Whoa. So, like, are you planning on picking this up?
I am, actually. I really want to play it now, but the trouble is I'm like on the last mission of the main game.
Right. Okay.
And then I keep on like going back to play it and then just getting sidetracked by like side quests and stuff. So I just need to do the main mission, and then once I'm done doing that, then I can get it, because I don't want to buy it beforehand. It sort of seems a bit of the wrong way around doing it like that. So
I mean, the cool thing about the way that it's structured is you don't have to finish the game. Like, obviously the level cap for it is, or the recommended level is 30. I think by the time you get to the end of the game, you're probably going to be level 40 or so anyway. So yeah, it scales, but the minimum level is 30. So it's worth picking up, because I mean, again, it's really, really good. Kieran, I know you've said you want to pick this up with you want to pick the whole thing up at the end of the year, because they're releasing the
All of it.
they're releasing like the what's it called, the complete edition.
Like
Yes, they're releasing the complete edition, which is going to be the DLC and the base game, and I think it's going to be about £35, which is a steal.
Yeah.
So it's if you've not played any of Horizon whatsoever, then definitely pick it up when that gets released. Matt, I don't think you've finished Horizon, have you?
No.
But you've played it.
I played it.
Okay.
Not finished it. Nowhere near finished it.
Yeah.
Actually, barely even started the bloody thing, if I'm completely honest.
Fair enough. I mean, it is huge. Like, in all honesty, it is huge. So, right. So, just before we go on to a couple of the games, we've got obviously we're live at the minute. This is the first time we've done this, so we've got the chat going at the minute, and we've got our good friend Asim Tanvir of Konami and ex NGB fame. Obviously, ex NGB is more important. If you guys are watching and you haven't voted, there is a poll down underneath Kieran somewhere in the description. Click on the poll and vote, because we're going to talk a little bit about the Xbox One X. If, like Asim, you already have an Xbox One X, just hit yes. Like, are you going to buy one? Yeah.
Well, he might still buy another one. You never know.
He may well do.
So, but
if you have a need for two, please send one my way, because I've got nothing. I'm still waiting for a Switch, because no one will buy me one.
Buy one yourself.
With what?
What's Matt's swear count so far? Asks Andy. Currently 0. He's on
all
no swears, actually.
Ye have little faith, I tell you.
But anyway, right, so we're going to move on now to another game that I've been playing, which, alongside Horizon, is another one that is getting a lot of critical acclaim, and that's Cuphead. Yeah, been playing a lot of Cuphead. That's a good game, and it's a gorgeous game as well. Like, the art style in Cuphead. Did you get around to getting it in the end, Gary?
I didn't, mate. No,
Okay.
I'm still planning to. I've heard amazing things, but also it's very hard.
Yes.
Which I played it at. I can't even remember when I played it. It was so long ago, and it was bloody difficult then. So, it looks like that art style is absolutely incredible.
Oh, it's gorgeous. And I think the thing is with it is, there's a lot of there's so much animation in it. Like, I know that's a really weird thing to say, but like, honestly, there is so much going on in that game. Like, every movement that the character has, it's just ridiculous. It really is. So yeah, it goes on for quite a while. Like, it's essentially a boss rush with some platformy bits in the middle. but honestly, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I've been playing an awful lot of it. Matt, you currently don't have an Xbox One.
I wonder, because Azim won't send me one. That's my reason.
You very nearly cost Gary his drink then.
Yeah, you did. Amazing.
But Kieran, I know you've got an Xbox One. Are you looking to pick Cuphead up?
Definitely. I've not got it yet, but it's definitely on my radar. It just looks amazing, and I think although it's really difficult, it might be one of those where it feels quite rewarding when you actually complete the levels. I don't know, or it'll just make you want to smash my controller into pieces.
Yeah.
But at least it looks amazing while you're playing it. But I think I don't know if I'm right in saying this, but I think all the animations are done frame by frame, aren't they?
Yes, and I think that's what makes it, like, it looks so smooth. It looks beautiful. It really does. And I think that's what I was saying about, everything. I don't know if it all has been completely hand drawn, but it's it's certainly got that appeal to it and that aesthetic. And I think even though it's being rendered in 1080p or 4K if you've got an Xbox One X or a PC that will do it, it's that sort of charm is just beautiful. It really is. And Asim said it's not Xbox One X enhanced, but I'll still get it. It's fair enough. I mean, yeah, it's beautiful. Like, it really is.
It's got that 1930s, 1920s Disney sort of animated film. It's amazing.
Yeah. So, definitely well worth picking Cuphead up if you haven't already. So, next game that we're going to talk about is one that Kieran's been playing, and I've been playing a little bit because it was free on PS Plus last month. Was it last month or this month? But that's Hue. So Hue is kind of a puzzle platformer. I'll let you take it away, Kieran. It's have you been enjoying it?
Yeah, it's really good. I've been quite tight this week. I've just been playing freebies. I thought I'm gonna have to freebies. Yeah, the problem is they just like pile up and then you never play them. But I thought I'll give it a go, and it's really good. It's I think I say it about a lot of games, but it's Limbo-esque. It's sort of black and white initially. Yes. But there's a bit of a twist. I don't know if you haven't played it, you have like a colour wheel, and you can choose different colours and it changes the background of the level. So if you're sort of up against a blue wall, you could choose the colour blue, and then that sort of disappears and you can walk through. So it's all like playing with different colours and things like that. But yeah, it's a really good game. Although I did rage with it and I had to put it down a bit because it was getting late and I had to do this ridiculous bit where I had to keep switching colours and things like that.
Yeah, there are some really tight timings with some stuff. Yeah. Particularly in the late game, where you've got like you have to sort of make a jump, then change a colour before you land. And then if you don't do it, you'll land on some spikes, and if you mistime it by like a fraction of a second, you won't be able to change the colour before you land, so you'll just go straight through a block and then end up on some spikes. I think the checkpointing could possibly be a bit better in the game.
Yeah, definitely. The bit I'm on at the moment, there's almost like 3 stages to it. So there's these platforms that when you touch them, they'll crumble and disappear. Yeah. And then as you go through to the next part, it just keeps getting progressively worse. Yeah. And if you fail at the end, you get chucked right back at the start and you've got to do it all again. That's why I thought, right, I'm just going to leave this for a little bit. But I've only got 4 colours as well at the moment, so I can only assume when... so I'm not even that far through it, but when there's a load more introduced.
Asim says that he's disappointed this game isn't about Hugh Grant, which...
I mean...
I don't know how much better or worse that would make the game.
I mean, if it's on PC, someone could mod it, maybe.
I thought it was going to be about do you remember the Philips Hue? Is that still a thing?
Oh, the bulbs. Just an electrician going around putting light bulbs in people's houses.
That's about colours, right? So, makes sense.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. So that's Hue. I mean, I don't know if it's still free. I think we've probably missed the period on it for. I think it was last month.
And it's been replaced now.
Yeah, but it's definitely, you know, if you've picked it up and have yet to play it, it's definitely you know, worth a little bit of time to go through it. And the other game you've been playing is Trackmania Turbo, I believe.
Yes, another freebie, but this time on the Xbox.
Yeah, I'm gutted. I've not got Xbox Live Gold at the minute, so I've missed out on that one.
Ah, right. You see, it was one that I actually wanted to get anyway, so I was quite happy with it.
Cool.
That. But yeah, that's like a proper old school arcade game. So you in your car, and it's just like drives ridiculously fast, and you just like snake it around the tracks and things. It's a little bit like playing Hot Wheels in a way, because the tracks are all got like loops and massive jumps and things like that.
I've seen some of the stuff going on in that game, and it looks absolutely mental.
Nuts. Yeah, it's a lot of fun though, and what's quite good about it is, I'm not very far through it, but the races are only about 30 seconds long. They're really quick. I was going to say,
is it like the old Trackmanias where you've got your car and then everybody else's car, but you can just drive through the car? There's no collision detection.
Well, there was an option to race with cars or without at the start.
Oh, right, okay.
And I chose without.
Okay.
Because I didn't want anyone getting in my way. And one of these as well, that I need to get the gold as well before I progress to the next one. Which I think Matt does that as well. With his game he's been playing. But yeah, I just didn't want any distractions. So I don't know about that. But
I think the option to have other cars on is that you're racing against the ghosts. So
right, okay.
I've seen some ridiculous replays on Trackmania where like it starts off and there's like one car on the start line, and then you hit go, and then there's just a million that just sort of like they explode out. It's almost like a flower blooming in like really quick, fast motion. Opposite of slow, whatever. Like basically, they just kind of explode out, and they just like it almost looks like water basically going over the track, which is really cool. So yeah, I'd love to. I really want to give that a go at some point, but I think that's just on replays and stuff. That's Trackmania. Cool. And the other thing that we're going to talk about briefly, because Matt's been playing a lot of it.
Hello.
It's Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
So Matt's been playing a lot of Gran Turismo Sport. He did a live stream, which the video of which is up there, and for some reason is actually quite a lot smaller in the chat than I would have liked it to be. So Matt, you take it away while I enlarge the video.
Oh, you enlarge that bad boy. Well,
whoa.
Jesus
to be honest, me and Gary were actually having a small chat. Was it yesterday about it? Not massively impressed, if I'm completely honest.
Okay.
A bit disappointed. Even though they got a bit more in depth with some of the simulation type stuff, you know, with adjusting all your settings and stuff on your car. For the rest of it, it's quite appalling. They've tried to go massively online with it, which to me has kind of failed.
Okay, so yeah, I wouldn't necessarily. I wouldn't say I think it's failed. I think it's a bit early.
To me, I prefer remember the better days of like Gran Turismo 2. You know, applying. You know, you're racing for your licenses. You get in them. You're being able to race the different things, and also the cars. It's all very like concept car-y.
Yeah.
You know, there's a couple your bog standards high end like your high end Golf GTIs and things like that on there.
Yeah.
But there's nothing that's like, you know, give me your Polo, you know, things like that. Give me a Nissan Micra. Let's race that around let's race that around some of them Brands Hatch and things like that. It's like, but no, it's all and it's like it's not. It's all right. It's good fun. Still drives great though. It's proper. I do like how the simulation has come up far better with it. Not tried it with a steering wheel yet though. I'd love to try and have a go with that.
Yeah, I'd be honest. I've not tried it with a steering wheel or indeed the VR, which I actually really want to give a go.
I saw that and I was tempted to sort of say, can I borrow VR to have a play? But no, to be honest, I was. It's still fun to play because it's so nice to actually physically drive.
Yeah.
But it is a bit disappointing I did like a little thing on tutorial on all the dashboard and that with it as well, sort of showing it, right, you know, this is that. They do have a little section for, I won't say single player, but just if you're not wanting to go online with it, you know, basically learn how to drive, learn the cornering, learn all the tracks, you know. So some of that stuff's really good.
Yeah.
But other bits, to be honest, I think it needed quite a bit more in with the.
Okay.
It's definitely more style over substance, I think. Because they got like random stuff like that. Remember, Matt, we were talking about like the museum they got that tells you like when a watch was made or when Bjork had her first album.
Where's that come from? What's that?
It's just like, and then the photo mode's like, yeah, it's impressive, but it's like it seems to be like they're more sort of interested in developing that side of it rather than because I read a review that said it's got less cars, less tracks than any of the competitors, and it's just there's no old classics. It just seems a bit and because of the whole online thing, it just to me seems like it's fair enough having an online mode, but at least put a sort of something single player where you can get your teeth stuck into, and it just doesn't seem like it's there.
No, that's right. I mean, me and Ben had a bit of a conversation once about. I said it's tried to steal a little bit from Drive Club.
Yeah, so I mean,
with it.
Yeah,
but,
I was gonna say,
I do. Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, Asim just mentioned in the chat, like it's the new direction in that they're focusing on online play and esports, and I think the esports thing is the big, that's the big thing. Like it's.
But even with the online stuff, it's still not enough there.
No.
You look at the tracks in the cars. There's just not enough there.
Yeah,
it's got good concepts with it. It's got. I mean, when you go on there, you have to qualify to race and things like that. I do like that part of it, but I just think it's not got enough content at all.
Yeah.
To me, anyway, in there with it.
Yeah. I mean, I think again, Asim just raised a good point about the fans, the hardcore loving it. You know, online play is superbly implemented with the sportsmanship point stuff. The sportsmanship stuff is something that really interests me because they've
watching the videos.
They've gone down the line of like, this is how you are. This is how you need to be a proper racing driver. Like this is how. You know, this is how a real driver does it. You know, you don't.
Yeah, that's cool.
You don't like bash into people on the track and try and win a car.
Derby.
Yeah, like you don't act like a dickhead on the track. And if you don't act like a dickhead on the track, then you'll get more rewards from it. And I think that is because I've done a few online. I've done a few online races, and I must admit, actually, in that sense, you don't race and find you coming up against an arsehole, basically. No, and I'll swear. Yeah, I'm saying it like it is. You don't come against an arsehole saying I'm going to ram you off the track to get around the corner quicker. No, to be honest, it is everybody's. What I've played is quite conservative, thinking don't want to hit you. I'll ruin my poor car. Yeah, I mean, I think it's an interesting direction for Gran Turismo. I think the comment about the lack of content for people that would just normally, pick up Gran Turismo for whatever they would normally do. I think that's a fair comment to make, and I think if I were to liken it to anything, I'd probably liken it a little bit to Destiny, or something in that kind of realm, because you've got the hardcore that will play everything repeatedly and multiple times, like me and Kieran definitely haven't done lots with Destiny. But then you're going to get people that will pick it up and just blast through whatever they want to do. I just think there's probably not enough in the game, particularly for me, to sort of go all in on it, I think. They've said, again, Asim just sort of commented in there, they have said that they're going to be implementing a lot of free stuff down the line for, the esports stuff. They're going to be going down a huge road of, let's see what the events are like. There are going to be big events where I think they've said it builds up to like lots of little different races, and then they're going to have like one big race event. Is that right, Matt? I think.
Yeah, that's right. I believe what I've read I think they're going to be doing something similar. Yeah, so it's kind of like mini qualifying for loads of races and things, and then top ones going into a main sort of event.
Yeah,
I believe so, and I think they might even be doing prizes for such things in that as well.
Yeah, I think that they're implementing the GT Academy and stuff, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I mean that could be really cool. I just think, I mean, technically it's a really good game. Like it runs well. It does good things. There's a lot to like about it. But
I just want massively fond on it because to me, I prefer the older style ones. I said you got a lot more cars and tracks to me in there. But don't get me wrong, it played really nice. It drove lovely. I could easily get in there, and then it does help people as well on there who probably haven't done simulation style stuff.
Yeah.
Where it's a matter of they've got helping for braking, such things like that, and just the tracks are more realistic for me on there.
No, that's again, I think I'd probably agree with you for the most part on that one. So, what we're gonna do is kind of segue a little bit into the news because, obviously, we just talked a little bit about Gran Turismo, how that looks, how that plays, how that runs. What the big thing about this week has been is the Xbox One X. That's a thing. That's out now.
That's a thing.
Well, it is a thing.
That's a real thing.
It is a thing. I'm not necessarily going to be picking an Xbox One up anytime soon for the sole reason that I don't necessarily have the money for it right now. But, there are a lot of reviews out there, and I think one of the most interesting discussions that I've heard about it actually came on this week's Giant Bombcast, where they said, it's the thing that they promised. It's what they said. It's the most powerful console ever. But I'm not sold on it yet. I mean, if I had the money, and I wouldn't miss it, I would probably go out and get one. But I think ultimately, for me, I've not used my Xbox One as much as I'd like to have done recently anyway. So
yeah, I was just about to say the same, to be honest.
So as I say, we've got a poll going at the moment. The current score is, I think it's, let's have a quick look. So we've got 38% of the votes are on maybe for would you buy an Xbox One, or are you buying an Xbox One? No votes on yes, and 5 votes on no.
Oh dear.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously, Asim has one, so he's not voted. So come on, get your vote in. If you bought one, it's a yes. But
Asim, you put maybe on there. Is that what it
was? So yeah, I think that the whole thing about the Xbox One X, it's the most powerful console out there, and the GPU is very powerful. But the problem for me is that the CPU, so that the actual processor is not all that great in comparison to a high-end PC, and that's mainly because of the decisions that they made 4 years ago when they were designing the original Xbox One. Yeah, Kieran, we promised that we would have a discussion on this, so
yes,
let's have a chat. What are your opinions on the Xbox One?
No, I don't. When way back when there was the whole discussion about sort of upgraded consoles halfway through console life, I wasn't down with that, because the idea of a console for me is you buy it, that's going to last you, then you're going to get the best quality game for that console. I know your PC players will be like, but yeah, still, this is console talk. But yeah, yeah. So I wasn't happy about that, because then you're starting to get to the thing where it's potentially going to lead down. Well, they did say that don't worry, we won't leave old console buyers behind, but then inevitably it's going to get to the point where actually, you're maybe not going to get the best game on your old console, and it's just like this whole thing. But I've slowly come around now, and I'm sort of like thought, right, can't be selfish anymore. Got to think about the overall gaming world.
Yep.
And I think it needs to be done, because PS4 was obviously loads better than the Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't it? Really? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally still prefer the Xbox, which everyone's going to be like, "Ooh," but it's just because I think it's one of those brand loyalty things in a way. It's like I started with the 360, and then I mean, the PS4 is amazing, to be fair, but so they needed to do something to just sort of like, I don't know if kickstart's the right word, but like,
it kind of has, it gives everybody that impetus, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just this generation seems a bit wet.
Moist.
There's not really
the moist generation of consoles.
2017, the moist generation.
I think you're doing it wrong, mate, if that's the case.
Oh, sorry, it's that way the USB goes, isn't it? My bad.
Anyway, Kieran, yes, let's carry on.
So I think the jump from previous generation to last generation, that was quite a big jump, because it was all going to HD and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But then when we went from sort of like 360 to PS3 to PS4, it wasn't massive. It was, I mean, the games look great now, but at the time it was a bit better. It wasn't like this massive, oh wow, this is... So I think this is sort of like, it's almost like this is what this next generation should have been.
Yeah.
The PS4 Pro and the Xbox One. But yeah, I'm a fan of the Xbox One, I think.
Okay.
Though the Xbox One X, sorry. Though I know that exclusive content isn't that great. I think that's a sticking point for quite a lot of people.
Yeah, I think that's where we need that. That's where the conversation is obviously going to sit, and it's a fair conversation to have. And I don't think anybody's like going to sit there and go, "Oh, Microsoft have got the best exclusives, the best games." It's like, well, yeah, like we've got our man Charles in the chat, who reviewed Gears of War 4. I think that was good. I think that that was really before Forza. I think that was probably the last big game, probably. But I think that there's a comment in the chat now, where it says Cameron said Xbox One X, I can't justify buying it at present due to lack of first-party exclusives. No doubt it's uber powerful, just no exclusive software support. And I think that's kind of where a lot of people sit.
Yeah.
I know we've had the conversation, privately, where we've essentially said, right, well, it's almost like, it's not that I don't want the best kit. I do, but if Microsoft had have released this at the start of the generation, they'd have walked it, hands down. Like, absolutely. Even with the price tag as it is, they would have absolutely walked it. But the problem I think with it now is that Sony got the message out so early on that our console is better, and I've currently got the specs up from a Eurogamer article. So basically, the original PS4 and the Xbox One, Sony got out there, said, our console is more powerful. It's got it can do more. It's got more stuff. It's better. It's we've got these games as well. And Microsoft really suffered with that. The higher price point, the lower performance, the Kinect debacle, the always online stuff. And I think the messaging was so mixed from Microsoft that people, I still speak to people now who say, "Oh, I'm not getting an Xbox One. That's the one where you've always got to be online." Even today, it's 4 years. It's 4 years down the line, But that perception is still there. And I think the problem is with a lot of the stuff that Microsoft put out is that they've tried to backpedal on it so hard, and they've had to go on the defensive for a lot of the generation so far. And this is the first time they can really come out swinging and go, no, guys, seriously, look at this. This is fucking cool. But I think at the point is now, the PS4 has an install base of, I want to say, over 60 million at this point.
Yeah, it's around that.
It's like 60, 65 million. You're looking at, there's talk of it being 2 or 3 to 1 PS4 to Xbox One, ratio. They're not going to catch it up, and they're certainly not going to do a box that's, £100 more than the PS4 Pro.
Let's be honest as well, the Xbox One X is for hardcore gamers. You aren't going to get a casual gamer buying one.
No, absolutely.
Which is an issue, but yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing where, is it an issue of it being the console that is too much money? Is it an issue of I don't know. It's a hard issue to pin down, but it's, again, it's an easy one to sort of turn around and go, well, look, yes, you've got the most powerful box, but yes, you're paying for it. And, ultimately, I don't think, like you say, I don't think people are going to be that bothered.
No.
Unless they want the most powerful thing going, in which case you'd buy a PC?
Well,
I don't know. I mean, think there are people out there that want to pay the premium for the X. But like I say, the hardcore is a small percentage of gamers. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And just any sort of normal family walking into a store, they're not going to go, "That's the most expensive. That's got all this 4K. It's got this, got that. I have that." They're just going to buy the cheapest one they can.
Yeah.
And that's why they're never going to get near Sony's PS4 sales, even if they had like an incredible couple of years running up for 2 years. I just think it's sort of like damage control in a way. They've released this because they know that they have to do something because they're so far behind. And I've said, like in the chat that we have, I still believe this is sort of 2 or 3 years too late.
Yeah.
It should have come out. If it would have come out like 2 or 3 years back, then it could be completely different sort of landscape now. But I think it's an amazing machine. It really is. And I can totally understand why people want it. But for me personally, I just don't have a need for it. I barely play I'm looking at my Xbox One now, and it's got so much dust on it, you wouldn't believe. And like you, Ben,
send it to me.
like you, Ben, I just left my Xbox Live subscription to run out because I just thought, well, what's the point renewing it? So yeah, for me personally, I don't need one, but I can see why people do want one because it is a great machine. But I just feel personally it's too late, really.
Yeah, I mean, I want one because it's the shiny. It's the new shiny. I'm a magpie. Like I want the shiny thing. Like I bought my wife an Apple Watch a couple of months ago, and I want one because it's shiny and it's new, and I want the cool thing. Like,
get the matte black one. It's not shiny, then you'll be fine.
The screen's still shiny. It's still got the glass screen.
No, we'll break it. It'll be matte black. You can't see it.
Matt just gets an Apple Watch and takes some sandpaper to it straight away. No, like I think you're absolutely right, Gary, and the phrase of damage control I think is absolutely right. Asim's pointed out in the chat, that Sony's absolutely knocked it out of the park with the messaging with the PS4 and the Pro. Sales have been just insane. It says, any other gen, Xbox would be winning. It's still selling. It's just that the PS4 has been crazy. And I think what people are kind of forgetting is just before this generation started, there was a whole rhetoric about, consoles are dead, or consoles are dead.
Yeah.
Everyone's moving to mobiles. Consoles are dead. It's like, well, yeah, but they're not, are they? Like,
no.
It was, there was a huge amount of people saying consoles are dead because they're not selling as much as they were. It's like, well, no, of course they weren't selling as much as they were. The generation was 8 years in. You're not going to sell as much of the new thing when it's 8 years old. People knew that these new machines were on the box. on the horizon. You know, they knew that these new boxes were coming, and they held off because they thought, right, let's see what they've got to offer. Let's see what we can do with it, and let's see how much they're going to be. And I think Sony coming out at that E3, announcing the price, and Microsoft slipping up the way that they did, which, you know, as good as Sony's messaging was with the PS4, there's no doubt Microsoft slipped.
Helped, yeah, exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
And I think
they screwed themselves over massively.
The what? Sorry.
And I think they've screwed themselves over massively at the start there. Yeah. And I think that's kind of why. Well, you said it then that people are still getting confused about it always being like that. And I think once the damage is done, a bunch of people have thought, you know what, forget it, I'm just going to Sony, because let's face it, the way they revealed the Xbox One, absolute shit show.
Yeah, I mean, you know, TV sports. That was. Oh, and a game. Yeah, we'll show a game. Fuck it, why not?
We'll have a game in there. But
that was that was
because
the
of
problem.
that. It's already like set in stone. Like, well, yeah, everyone's jumped over to PlayStation now, and I think credit where credit's due. Phil Spencer's come on, and he's sort of like he's turning it around, but it's like pissing in the wind a little bit. It's a really difficult job.
I mean, Don Matrick took that division and fucked it until it was dry. Like, there was nothing left by the time he was finished with it. I think the Kinect was very clearly his baby, and he just went, okay. Yeah. That's the reaction. That is the exact reaction. You know, the Kinect was a shit show. I think everybody kind of knew it, but they didn't really want to admit it. I think a lot of people got swept up in the hype, and it just wasn't that great.
Kinect, oh man.
I mean, they've officially killed it. Let's bring it back around to the Xbox One X. Let's bring it around.
I never thought I'd hear that word again.
Let's bring it around to the X and say that, you know, with the Xbox One X, Microsoft have officially killed Kinect.
Yeah.
So it is officially dead. They're not making it anymore. You can't get the adapter from them anymore.
It was so successful.
I think what they need to do, I'm hoping that this is their sort of like, I know it's a bit too late, but it's them sort of going, right, not starting again, but it's like, right, we're going to do it now.
Yeah.
And I know it's a bit late, but they've already been talking about, we've got the hardware out there now.
Yeah.
We just need to focus on getting some content out. So
and, I mean, this week, Phil himself came out and said, you know, well, we are now looking at buying some studios. He wouldn't say that if they were genuinely looking at buying some studios. They've already bought them.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any doubt in my mind they've already bought those studios. They are already working on exclusive titles.
He has said as well that he's going to be a bit more reserved at E3 and things like that because of the whole scale-bound thing.
Yeah, I mean
that was announced a bit too early, and then that just went tits up. But now I can't remember what interview, it might have been with Eurogamer. He said, I'm going to chill out a bit now, and I'm not going to reveal stuff until I know that
it's definitely coming. Yeah,
definitely. So hopefully, because obviously at the end of the day, more competition is good. Isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and I think that's the thing. Like, I think people have said, you know, Sony are starting to get a bit complacent with some things, not in terms of games, but in terms of their attitude. I think it's kind of fair from what people are saying on that one, but ultimately there is a lot to like about what Sony are doing. I think there's a lot to like about what Microsoft are now doing because Phil Spencer has just
he's done an amazing job.
He's knocked it out of the park. He really has. You know, he's turned it round, and I think he is the best thing that could have happened to that division.
Yeah,
without a shadow of a doubt. Big Phil. So yeah, that is the Xbox One X. I don't know. I'm not going to buy one anytime soon. I don't know if I ever will, but it's interesting to see that that's kind of where the market's going. I have always said if we didn't receive a PS4 Pro for coverage from Sony, I don't think I would have bought one. But you know, it's been good for coverage. You know, I love it. It's a great machine, but I don't think I would have bought one myself, mainly because I don't have a 4K TV. But that's another discussion for another time. Anyway, moving on from the Xbox One X. So you guys have got Switch. Well, Gary, you've got a Switch. A couple of people in the chat.
Guys have got a Switch. Hold on, wait. We got a chat here. Not working.
You know, some of the guys. You know, guys in the chat. guys in the chat, they've got Switches.
Sodom.
The problem, I think the problem that a lot of people had with the Switch when it came out was that it had 32 gig of storage. Not a problem. You'll probably just buy the cartridge versions of the games. That'll be fine, won't it? That'll be absolutely fine. Apparently not. Apparently not. If you buy L.A. Noire on the Switch, you need to get a mandatory 14 gigabyte day one download.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awkward.
And also, while I'm here, I'm sure as well, there is a hefty download for WWE 2K18.
Johnny's going to cry.
It's 24 gig.
Wow.
24 gig. So you get the cartridge, you put that in your Switch, and it asks you for 24 gig of extra downloads. It's ridiculous. I'm hoping that there are some decent deals on a 128 gig SD cards for the on Black Friday. I'm really hoping they have some available, because if they got them relatively cheap, I'll pick one up and then I'll be sorted for, I don't know, 2 more games if this carries on. It's ridiculous.
To be fair, Andy made a chat that it's weird because the first party titles like Zelda, I think, didn't we say it was like 12 gig or something?
Yeah, Zelda's about 13 gig.
Right.
Yeah, that's...
Mario's even less than that, isn't it?
Mario's about 5.
Yeah, Mario's 5 or 6, I think, tops.
But Mario is, because of Miyamoto's compression. He's renowned to have one of the best sort of techniques at compression. That's why it's so small. But it does seem like a third-party thing. I know. Sorry, Kieran, I'd cut you off then. But is that what you were going to say?
I think it is. It seems to be a third-party issue. But I don't know if it's. I know there's an issue with the cards as well.
So there's a weird thing about the cards where apparently they've got a few different sizes, where I think they've got the main size is a 4 gig card, and then you can get a 32 gig card, but the 32 gig cards are ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but
it's like sort of cutting costs sort of thing.
Yeah. So I don't know, passing that cost on to the consumer, I don't think's, whilst I think I'd probably be prepared to pay a couple of quid more for a game on a cartridge if I knew I didn't. Oh shit, that's my cider.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
blooper reel.
Shit. Edit it out.
Edit out the live cast.
That's actually quite a lot of cider. God damn it. Fortunately, it's not gone on me. It's just gone all over the floor. Awesome. We might have to wrap up shortly then. Fucking hell. I think the thing is, that's properly thrown me. The thing is with these download sizes, I'd quite happily pay an extra couple of quid, but I'm not up for paying 30 quid on an SD card if I just want to play a few more games. Anyway, right. From one game that is pretty good. The big Call of Duty advert has just come up. Hitman is Hitman's coming back. We've got a Game of the Year edition, which is.
Oh, hello, Game of the Year. Did I hear Game of the Year edition?
You did. So Game of the Year edition is. I think it's out now, actually. There is, I think it's digital download for stuff, which is essentially all of the stuff that's going on, everything that's been in there, and there's also some new content as well, which is there. That is, I obviously went independent. They sort of broke away from Square. They said, right, okay, we're trying. Square were trying to sell them. IO went, can we just buy ourselves out of the contract and we'll do that. So they've now got the publishing rights to Hitman, which, fair play to Square Enix, a lot of publishers would have just gone, you can have everything in future, but everything that we do, everything you've already done, that's ours, we published it. The fact that Square Enix have turned around and gone, you know what, you guys, if you want to put out something for the original last year's Hitman, just do it. There you go. There's the rights. Do what you want with it. it's been great, and I think the thing is for IO is that they can now put their hearts into what they really want to do and really enjoy it. So there's a Game of the Year edition of Hitman. There's some new content which, if you don't own Hitman already, you can pick up, I think, for the whole game for about 40 quid. And I think if you already own, if you own the game, I think the upgrade is around 15 quid, depending on what platform you've got, it says here. So there's the new 4-mission campaign is set across a few of the maps. They've been kind of tweaked a little bit, and there's a bunch of new challenges. And as well, if you missed out on any of the elusive contracts, you can redo them, but they won't count in the same way, which is brilliant because the elusive contracts were the best thing about that game.
I missed all of them.
There you go. Yeah. You can pick up the. I think if you've got the game already,
I've got the definitive edition. I went for that one when it released.
Yeah, so that's going to be everything. I think the free update will include the ability to go back and do the elusive contracts and that stuff. So cool. You can easily do that. That's fair enough. But yeah, you can go back, do that, and redo the elusive contracts. You won't get the goodies and stuff that you got from doing it, but you'll definitely get some cool stuff from it. Yeah, I've got a lot of love for Hitman. It was easily top 2, I think, last year. I think it was I said Titanfall 2 is my favourite game, and then Hitman was second. But yeah, it's an astonishing game, it really is. And they've said that they're making a new Hitman game. We can't wait to tell you all about it, which is...
That'd be E3 then?
Yeah. It's amazing and infuriating at the same time, because I really want to play all of the Hitman, but at the same time, I don't want to wait for too long.
It'll be a mobile game.
Yeah. Fuck off.
That'd be hilarious. Yeah.
Just...
Like Uno.
Actually, no. I tell you what, and this is going to tie into the next piece of news. So, good unintentional segueing, Kieran.
Oh, intentional.
Imagine a mobile game where you could No, listen. Don't you give me that shit, Matthew. Right? Imagine a mobile game where, if you used your camera and the AR on your phone, and you kind of walked around, you sort of had your phone like that, and you walked around with it, and it showed you a target on your phone that you had to assassinate in terms of Hitman. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, but you'd have people running around the streets with the phone in their hand, bumping into lampposts and cars. And...
You had that with Pokemon Go.
That is true.
And
I'll give you that.
This is where the segue comes in. You are also going to have this with Wizards Unite, Harry Potter, the new AR game from Warner Brothers and Niantic. So the guys behind Pokemon Go are basically doing a Harry Potter themed, AR game. Matt, your missus is looking forward to this, isn't she?
No. She's not allowed a phone anymore. It's banned. I'm throwing it away.
There we go. So, if anybody has if anybody lives near Matthew and would like to report the domestic abuse, yeah, yeah. So, I mean, it's a decent concept. I think I'm a little bit surprised at how quickly they appear to have maybe moved on from Pokemon Go, but considering that game made all of the money.
Yeah, it's about 1.2 billion, I believe.
Yeah, I think at one point it was making £1 million a day at least.
That's insane.
You want to know the most annoying thing? What? I will probably download it and still play it like in Pokemon Go. I will be the twat in the middle of the street going, "Die, Voldemort!"
Anyway, if anybody's got any questions before we just go into the last piece of news, just fire them into the chat. We'll answer them very quickly. Don't forget, the poll's there, the link's down there, but underneath Kieran.
What's winning?
Sorry?
What's winning?
Currently, we have 33% of votes say maybe, 56% of votes say no, and 11% say yes. So... whilst my Twitter feed
100% is as him, I think.
I think it might well be. My Twitter feed was full of people with an Xbox One X pre-ordered. It was also full of angry people because they ordered it from Amazon and they didn't get it. So well done, Amazon.
Yeah.
But
gamers.
The final thing is the final thing we're going to talk about quickly is Need for Speed Payback. Need for Speed Payback's got loot boxes? Because of course it has.
Everything's got a loot box now, right?
Fucking loot box.
I'm fed up of them. Like, I really am. Just stop it. Like, the thing is, there was something that was said the other day. By the way, this comes from GamerMatters.com. Obviously it's all out there anyway because reviews have hit. But, man, just...
It's getting ridiculous, right?
Thing is, like, people were praising the Call of Duty ones. We didn't talk about Call of Duty. That's because none of us have played it.
No.
So, apparently it's back in World War II. Apparently it's all right.
I've actually got it, but Super Mario Odyssey is like just taken over my life.
Well, so. Gary, if you send it my way, what platform have you got it on?
PS4, mate.
Oh, good. Yeah, send it my way. I've got a PS4. I'll play it. Mate. You carry on with Mario. I'm not cheap in the slightest. Can you tell?
I think I might call this one
Xbox.
I think I might call this one the one where Matt tries to blag everything.
So far he wants a Switch. He's got my Xbox One and Call of Duty World War II. Anything else, mate?
Basically, you're happy, mate, aren't you? I've nicked all of your stuff.
Can I have your curtains?
Can I play in that room as well that you're in?
You can anytime, mate. Anytime.
Anyway, right. Need for Speed. It's got loot boxes.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's not a very good game either.
No.
I mean,
that upsets me.
Just like I kind of get the appeal of loot boxes. Like, it's nice to open something shiny. Hence why I want an Xbox One X. But please, 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 fucking stop it. Like, Call of Duty got praised for not charging for their loot boxes, right? You could currently you can only get them with in-game currency that you earn. However, next week the currency goes live to buy.
Yay!
I mean,
chin.
for fuck's sake,
robbing bastards.
Yeah, and 2K said today as well that they've got a bunch of things in there where they want all of their games going forward to have repetitive spending things.
Oh yeah.
Don't get me started on 2K. Believe me, I will rip them a new one pretty much.
Yeah.
More like shit, K.
All I say is NBA 2K18 is a shit show for that.
Yeah,
it's shockingly bad. It gets to a point where so much that you can't do much without it.
I mean, it kind of appears that WWE is a bit the same in that everything in there is the everything in there is the cosmetic stuff. It's getting to a point now where it's just like, really, come on. Yeah.
It's the whole mobile side of it. That's what sort of triggered all this.
Yeah. The thing is, if you're gonna have a game like that has monetization in it like that, make the game free, or make it 20 quid. Like, make it completely upfront and say, look, you spent 45 quid on this game. You can have exactly what you need to go through the campaign or to do what you need to do. There you go. Fine.
Yeah.
Or if you don't like that idea, you can pay 15 quid or 20 quid. See how you get on with it, and if you like it, you can buy some stuff.
Yeah.
Not just have they want the cake and eating it. It's a difficult road to go down. It really is.
Yeah.
But anyway, Assam says COD is ace. He's just finished the campaign and it is excellent.
Nice.
So
I do like all the World War II type of stuff. I do want.
I'm really intrigued by it.
Can I borrow it if you finish?
Oh, amazing. He's going to have a pile of stuff at this rate.
I am hungry.
Yeah, if you want to send stuff to Matt, it's PO Box 185. You freeloading bastard. Anyway,
if you would like to donate to me, then please send it to
PayPal address of mattisafreeloadingbastard@gmail.com. I might actually set that up just to see if it works. So anyway, yeah. Thing is, if people don't want loot boxes and stop paying for them, it's a problem. Yeah, that's the problem.
That is the problem. Yeah.
You'll get people that there was a story on Eurogamer where somebody said that they admitted they were part of the problem, and they'd spent 15, or they'd seen somebody. They used to work for EA. They said they saw somebody spend $15,000 on Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 2's multiplayer. They spent $15,000. I'd like to spend $15,000 on a house.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't spend it on that. Yeah.
I'd like to spend $15,000 on anything, not fucking Mass Effect 2. But
more money than sense, clearly.
Yeah. Anyway, that's going to do us for the news. We have got one question. I'll tell you what, I'm glad I've not got a bottle on there anymore because I'm dropping my tray. We've got one question, which is from Johnny, and the question is: if Gary throws his hat on Kieran, is he the Kieran?
I suppose he would be.
Oh. Hot take.
There is something there is something slightly morbid about Mario Odyssey, I think.
Morbid? Yeah,
I mean, it's
you dead?
You throw your hat on something and then you possess them.
Oh yeah.
If you look at it from that way, it's a bit creepy.
No, that's great. I love that idea. I wish I could do that in real life.
Yeah. Well,
that'd be amazing to have a cappy.
Gary, try it. Go try it.
I've tried it. It don't work.
Is that why you've got that black eye?
Anyway.
Yeah. Black eye? Who's got a black eye?
Just throw your hat. It's like a boomerang. Comes back.
Yeah.
Anyway. That is going to do us for the first ever live NGB podcast. Thank you so much for those of you who joined us and had a bit of a chat. Really enjoyed it. It's been good. We should do this again. In fact, I think we might do. Next Thursday at 8:30. All right, well, fuck you.
Just remember, send me.
Right,
I'm up for donations.
If anybody sends Matt anything, I'm going to fucking come after you. It's not happening.
Fair enough.
It's not happening.
Please.
Anyway, youtube.com/nextgengamingblog, twitter.com/official_NGB. I'm at Winstano. Kieran is at Kieran McClung. That's his name. I had to figure that out.
Funny that.
Yeah, Gary down there. He is at Gary Clark, Gary with an I. And Matt is at Sir Golding. Because apparently he got knighted.
Sir Golding.
Yeah.
I am knighted.
He got knighted for services to swearing and scrounging.
Scrounging.
Anyway, thank you for joining us, guys, and we will see you on the next one. Goodbye. Beautiful people.
Bye.
Donate.
Don't donate. I need to remember to set my stream deck up to stop the stream because at the minute... Let's just wave. Let's wave like at the end of a shit TV show. Hang on. Bye.
Bye.